And now, the news from our London studios. MTA International brings you the world news.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the MTA International World News Bulletin. These are some of the headlines from around the world that we're following for you today.
Australian Ahmadi Muslims make preaching efforts. Jamia UK hosts Tarbiyat retreat for boys. Benin holds interfaith event.
Whether it be night or day, rain or hail, it does not change the intentions of the members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community to spread the peaceful message of Islam. At the dawn of the day, when the majority of people are sleeping, a small group of men were starting their 800-kilometer return journey to Port Augusta via Port Pirie from their hometown of Adelaide. Upon arrival, some headed straight for the local streets for pamphlet distribution, whereas the rest started to set up the exhibition in the market area of Port Augusta. At 9:30 a.m., the exhibition was opened for the public, and immediately there was an abundance of interest amongst the crowds.
Hello, I'm Meryl. I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to talk about Islam to people of other faiths, because it's really nice to be able to have this dialogue with people who are different from faith to my own. There are resources here where people need to read and then make informed decisions rather than condemn. And these resources here help everybody to understand others and respect.
The stall contained different translations of the Holy Quran, as well as literature such as the life of Muhammad, the philosophy of the teachings of Islam, and the world crisis and the pathway to peace, along with many more.
I want to say that it's fantastic to have a stall like this, just to encourage conversation and to dispel some fears that people might have about different religions, and I think that promotes peace amongst different religions and people of all different persuasions. So I think it's fantastic what you're doing here, and I think to keep up the wonderful work and keep up the positive conversations for the community.
At the same time, the members of the Jamaat were sent out in 5 teams to a nearby town called Port Pirie, in which they distributed pamphlets. Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, approximately 13,000 pamphlets were distributed on this trip. The day was a huge success. May Allah help us to spread the true teachings of Islam. Talha Shafiq, MTA International Studios, Australia.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jamia Ahmadiyya UK was established in 2005 by Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Khamis, Ayyadullahu Ta'ala bin Nasrihil Aziz, in Collierswood. The second inauguration of the new campus in Hazelmere was in 2012, again by the hands of Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Khamis, Ayyadullahu Ta'ala bin Nasrihil Aziz. This campus, Branksome Place in Hazelmere, is the very campus which is used for the annual spring retreat, in which Khuddam and Atfal are called from all over the country in order to participate, to improve their education, their spirituality, their health, their brotherhood, and their understanding of the Jamaat. At the spring retreat, we have the age groups between 14 and 19-year-olds, where Atfal and Khuddam have a set plan of classes, lectures, sports, and of course, everything revolves around the prayers.
We're just going to take a look at the lessons that are going on right now. The course that the students get to study throughout these days is basically a simplified version of the Jamia course itself. So those students who are taking part, they get to learn basically what a student would learn in 7 years but condensed in just a week. So they're really lucky to have this opportunity. So let's just go into the Nur class right here we have. And of course you can see that they're having a lesson. So just inside. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. So I believe this is Nur class, as you can see. They're all ready, and we have our teacher over here, Dilshah Sahab. They're learning Kalam, which is basically the knowledge of argumentation, which is basically talking about how to answer the allegations alleged against the community and alleged against Islam. As you can see, that they will have the syllabi, which has been prepared beforehand this year, printed as well, and I think they're all taking their notes as well. So, are you guys enjoying the lesson? Yes. Jazakallah. Okay, so as you've noticed, this year and every year we split the classes up into different groups, and the reason for this, as always, is that the students, when they're in smaller groups and with the smaller quantity of people, they feel more confident and more comfortable to ask questions which they probably wouldn't be able to ask in a bigger group. And one of the purposes and the roles that the Tarbiyati class or the spring retreat would fulfill is to answer those questions of students which they couldn't ask probably the elders in their society or feel ashamed to ask. So we provide for them an environment which is just their friends and young teachers who would understand them, so they can feel comfortable in asking any question they feel they need to ask.
I came here to learn and about behaviour and everything. I love Jamia.
I like Jamia because I want to come here and I want to become a Murabbi. This whole week has been really fun. We've learned lots of stuff.
I think the class has been amazing this year, especially because of the sports activities. It helps us out in our spiritual side and our life to come, preparing us for harder situations.
It's quite interesting because we're learning new ways to become more pious, to become more humble, to answer people's question who want to ask about Ahmadiyya, because you see in this world, so many people are thinking all Muslims as terrorists, but if us Ahmadis learn how to stop them and make them believe that Ahmadis are the right path, Muslims are trying to go to the right path, and then this world will believe that we are not terrorists, we are actually Muslims trying to make the world a better place.
बसद जिज़ो मिन्नत बसद एहतराम ये करता है अर्ज़ आपका एक गुलाम के ऐ शाह को नैन आली मकाम अलैका सलातो अलैका सलाम अलैका सलातो अलैका सलाम.
2017 marks the 50th year since the establishment of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in Benin. To mark this special year in the history of the community is organizing interfaith conferences throughout the country. The fourth such event was hosted in Parkou City, where 311 people gathered together, including civic and political leaders, academia, and members of the general public. The ambassador of Germany to Benin also attended the event and traveled 450 kilometers to do so. The event was prepared with the efforts of the local Ahmadi Muslim youth, who decorated the hall and made arrangements. The King of Parkou and a large delegation of army personnel also came for the event. The king spoke at the event and expressed that before he was made the king, there was much opposition to the Ahmadi Muslims. However, when he found out the works that Ahmadi Muslims do, he said that such works can only be done by true Muslims. Various dignitaries and faith leaders took to the stage to talk about the role the Ahmadiyya Muslim community has played in bringing about humanitarian aid to the country, and the role it is playing on creating harmony and peace, and how their particular faiths and teachings also emphasize peace. The conference included various lectures speaking about the true beautiful image of Islam and its emphasis on serving mankind. The event received wide media coverage on national and private radio and TV and print media. Hibbat Mirza, MTA News.
That's all the time that we've got for today, but don't forget you can join us again tomorrow for our next update. You can send in your views to news@mta.tv and also follow us on Twitter @newsmta. For myself and the team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.